Welcome to another live edition of the Grass-Fed Homestead, right here on YouTube, coming at you from the panhandle of North Idaho, where it is very cold. Not as cold as some folks have in the Midwest, but it was about 2 degrees this morning. It's definitely warmed up into double digits now, I think, but it's still cold. And if you're watching this right now, you're watching the replay because no one is here yet joining us on the live stream. So thank you for joining us on the replay. I appreciate that. Oh, we got some people rolling in now. So got some live viewers. So guys, thanks for joining. Caroline's here. Hi, Caroline. I appreciate you guys joining in. I just had a few updates and announcement, that sort of thing I was going to share with you guys. And I figured instead of doing a production video, why not just go live? Because I haven't done that in a long time. Let's keep it real. Wants to know, got any livestock? No, I don't. Just my dogs. Just my dogs right now. Kalis Enoch, hello. Matt B, hello. Hi, Carol, Clucky Farms, Sarah, Man, Luker, Marie. Yeah, you won't see green grass there till late April, early May. Yeah, it's generally May. It's kind of like when grass starts happening for us. And it kind of depends on the season too, because like last April, I was still skiing in April. So this winter is a much more mild winter. So I expect we'll probably start seeing some greening in April for sure this year, as opposed to later in May. Caroline is back in Washington finally. Welcome back. I know Spokane area, I think, was your old stomping ground. Or maybe that's just where you had some of your other breeder friends. Caroline breeds collies. So if you need a collie, get in touch with Caroline Baines in our chat right now. So as we have people rolling in here, I guess we can jump into things. Oh, and by the way, too, as I'm going over a couple things, I mean, feel free to jump in the comment section, ask anything you want. First thing I'm going to talk about is Willow. So if you have any questions about Willow, now would be also a very appropriate time to throw those in there. And for those of you who may not know who Willow is, that's our injured livestock guardian dog. She's actually sitting right here at my feet, and I'll see if I can get the camera down there in just a minute so you can see her. Sarah's saying my garden goes in within 4 weeks. 4 weeks from now? February, so yeah, early March. That's, I guess, kind of when I lived in Atlanta. I guess that would be consistent. March is kind of when we got started there. So Evan from Goatberry Farms is in the house. How's it going, Evan? I'm sorry, Evan. Emmett. Sorry. Gary, how's little buddy? Little buddy is doing excellent. In fact, he is right now at a play group event with friends, and I have to go leave soon to go get him. So he is doing excellent, though. Anyway, so first up, what we're going to be going over is just a little progress report on Willow. As many of you guys probably know, Willow was end of December, right at New Year's. She injured her leg and tore all the ligaments. It's her back right leg. Tore all the ligaments in her hock joint. And I had to bring her down to Washington State University to have an orthopedic surgeon do some pretty cool stuff on her. Quite expensive stuff, but they were able to save the joint, and she's in a cast. So she had her sutures out last week, and then next week she's getting, they're taking the cast off and putting her in some kind of brace. a temporary brace, and that's the vet up here is going to be doing that. Then I'm driving her back down to Pullman, Washington, where Washington State University Veterinarian Hospital is, and they're going to fit her. They have to like custom make her a long-term brace that she's going to wear. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I suspect, you know, we're talking months. She is expected to make a full recovery, but it's just something to give her support post cast, but you know, prior to letting her just have no kind of support. So, and then for those of you that don't know, Washington State University Veterinarian Hospital is like one of the best, if not the best. It's definitely, so UC Davis, California, and WSU are probably like tied somewhere, you know, maybe going back and forth between 1 and 2 position, but best veterinarian hospital, at least in the western half of the country, if not the whole country. So she's getting really the best care that she could possibly be getting. Let's see if we got any. We got all kinds of comments coming in. I'm by myself trying to keep up with them, so pardon me. Marie from France. What part of France are you in, Marie? I'm curious. She wants to know about Willow. Does she like to play? If yes, please show us. I have no idea if livestock guardian dogs are playful. Okay, she loves to play. Not the traditional pet dog way where, you know, throw a ball and they'll fetch it and bring it back, or a stick or something like that. We've never done that. I could try it, but she likes to play as in run around, chase things. By things, sometimes it's sheep, sometimes it's a cat, but it's always done playfully. But she right in front of me this way is a sliding patio door, and I have a run out there. So I put her on her leash and attach her to the run so she can go out and use the bathroom and come back in. And the last week or so, as soon as I let her out, she actually starts I have to stop her from doing this because she's not supposed to be doing this right now, being in the cast, but she starts to try to run around. She'll run in circles. She starts jumping, frolicking. She's been throwing herself on the ground and rolling around and all that kind of stuff. So I have to prevent her from doing that. She's on restricted mobility, which for the most part has worked out just fine because my house is small and she's a big dog and there's just not a lot of room for her to move around. So she's healing really well. But yeah, she is super playful. She does like to play. I can't show you right now, obviously, but I will see if I can get video of that sometime. I'm going to see if I can get the camera down here so you can look at Willow while we're talking about her. Hold on a second. Yeah, sorry about going black here a second. All right, here we go. Say hello, Miss Willow. She kind of gets creeped out by that kind of stuff. I try to do this with the phone sometimes and get pictures or video, and she doesn't really like it. But do you have any words of wisdom? Oh, yeah, check out her new collar. Nice and pink to match your leash. Anyway, let me see if I can roll this over this way. And yeah, that's her cast right now. And as you can see, she has decided to chew some of it off. So Willow is going to be going back on cone restriction here soon. I've given her a lot of leeway with it because she's been so good about it. But just yesterday, last night, she decided to start chewing. So she's going back to the cone when I leave the house. Right? Come here. Come here, Willow. No, she's leaving. Okay. Oh, she's looking back. You want to come over? No? All right. Bye-bye. All right. So that is Willow. Let me scroll back up here and see what we got going on. Marie, did you tell us where you are in France yet? I haven't seen that come in yet if you have. Yorkshire, George from England. Awesome. Welcome. What time is it there in England? 7 hours ahead? We're Pacific time, Pacific USA, obviously. Yeah, Eric Johnson saying his livestock dog plays like crazy. Yep. George wants to know, will you be doing more vlogs on the sheep? Right now, I don't have any sheep on the property. I do have some, we haven't set a date or anything. We're kind of waiting for the snow melt and everything. So probably later in the spring, I'll be going back down to Baba Blacktail Farm, Tessa's property, and we're going to be doing some filming actually on her horses, because almost entirely everything we've done on her property has either been the sheep or livestock guardians for the sheep. We've done George, her donkey, we've done llamas, and then her dogs we've talked about before, and then, but 90% of it's been the sheep. So I'm going to be working with Tess, and we're going to be putting out some horse content where I'm not entirely sure what all she has in mind for that, but Tess, basically when I say, hey, let's do a video, she comes up with like 10 ideas of stuff we haven't talked about yet, and she really puts a lot of time into working on them, and it's been a huge blessing to what we're doing here. So I'm sure we'll be doing more sheep content with her. Brian, greetings from Michigan. Welcome. Sarah wants to know, how is Willow's mood? Willow, and I don't know if you heard me say this earlier, but she's at first, she was in, I could tell she was in good spirits, but she wasn't quite happy with her situation, naturally. But now she's getting like super playful. She's super comfortable being back in the house. At first, she was very reserved. She stayed in her little spot in the living room. I took a couch cushion off the couch, put it on the floor, and put a blanket over it, and she just stayed curled up on that. And if she get too warm, she'd just go to the floor right next to it and go back and forth. And her food and water is right there next to her. And for a couple of weeks, she kind of stayed like that. But the last few weeks, she's gotten really comfortable, and she's just goes wherever she wants. She's really good mood, really happy all the time, happy to see people when they come to visit. And yeah, so she's been doing great as far as that goes. I think sometimes she forgets actually she's injured, which is not a good thing, because I'm trying to, again, try to keep her taking it easy so she doesn't re-injure herself. Let's see. Being you are going to relocate, are you going to still have a homestead, and will you be rearing animal and crop? That's from Davel's farm. I have no plans to relocate, so I'm not entirely sure where that's coming from. Come spring, so there's some other really big stuff in the works going on that's going to, if it all works out, and I'm not ready to make an announcement about it yet because I don't know if it's going to work out, but there is a good potential that there's going to be some significant crop stuff going on in the spring. That's all I'll say about it at this point. And when I say spring, again, we were kind of talking about this a little bit earlier. Here, spring isn't really until May, so we'll still have snow probably through March, but and then April's mud season. But late May, yeah, you can probably look forward to some gardening and crop content that's going to come out. And then I'm going to be reassessing about the livestock situation. I already have feeders lined up. I just don't know what all I want to do, how much I want to do, but sheep, I got no problem. I've already made arrangements with Tess where I can get at least 4 of them whenever. And then I'm definitely interested in some pigs. I really missed having some pork this fall. I've been bartering with my good friend John Shepard from the Shepherd Ranch, who has the IPPs, the Idaho Pasture Pigs. I've been getting some pork from him, but I'd really like to get my own again, so that is definitely a possibility. Oh, Zach, the next question wants to know, are we getting pigs again? It's likely. I mean, I'm not going to commit to anything, but I want some. 80 degrees in Birmingham, Gary. Wow. Ugh. It was 2 degrees this morning when I got up. 80. Wow. Ugh. Too hot for this time of year. Jerry wants to know, what are your activities around the homestead on a typical week now? Very, very minimal, and that's by design. Right now, I'm feeding and watering. In fact, well, I'll just say I'm feeding 2 dogs And caring for Willow, I have to be home a lot to be letting her out to use the bathroom throughout the day and that kind of thing. She's in the house, and I'm not leaving her outside at all unattended. For her safety, from, you know, if a predator were to come through or something like that and recognize she were injured, that would obviously not be safe for her, but also so she doesn't harm her leg, running around or doing, you know, playful things. We want to keep her on restricted mobility. So she's in the house a lot, which requires more attention from me in that sense. But I'm just keeping her fed and keeping Blue fed. And Blue has the 55-gallon stock tank outside, and it's just like right at the edge. It's always overflowing because it snows or rains, and it just, yeah. So I haven't even topped their water off since November. I don't know. It's been a while. It's just been like just full with fresh snow coming in all the time, and then of course Willow, her water. But that's really all I'm doing. I'm not having to do any other maintenance outside. I don't have any of the other animals, or I'm not running hay or anything like that right now. And all that was by design because I'm in a stage in my life. I got a lot of grief for this. I got a lot of emails, people unsubbing, you know, a kind of weird reaction when I put out that I was taking the winter off from the livestock. Some people were just upset and just didn't want to watch my channel anymore. They didn't, I guess, understand my reasoning for it, and that was, you know, I've referenced in another video. I'm not going to get into that now, but basically, I'm in a phase of my life where I'm trying to rebuild and recover from a really difficult year, and having a lot of extra burden at a particularly difficult time of year, winter in North Idaho. Our last 2 winters were really, really heavy, and it was a lot of work, hauling hay out, trudging through the snow, you know, up to my knees in snow and that kind of stuff. So I wasn't really wanting to, I wanted to take it easy this winter, because of everything that I was dealing with last year. I just needed some time, and this is that time. So I'm really enjoying a lot of downtime right now. I hope that thoroughly answers your question, Jerry. Marie wants to know, once Willow gets a couple of years on her, she will, oh, this isn't a question, it's a comment. She will likely won't rupture like that again. Young dogs are over exuberant. I understand. Caroline saying the collies are very chill in the house, but occasionally they get what they call crazy zooms. Yeah. Okay, Marie from France again. She's got another comment. Oh, southwest of France. The Basque. Oh, is that, you're in Spain? I thought you were in France. Correct me. If I'm not mistaken, the Basque is the northern region of Spain. My senior thesis in college was on the effectiveness of colonial terrorism and how the Basque was there. They used terroristic measures for independence in Spain. But anyway, not anything to do with homesteading. Wow. This is scrolling faster. Sorry. Someone had a question about antibiotics, and I just lost it. Okay, I'm sorry. Next level. What's your choice for an antibiotic for sheep? I've never used antibiotics. I have a video on administering antibiotics to sheep specifically that I made with Tess. It's not on my channel. It's actually part of this series I was starting last spring. I was doing the Homestead Sheep Foundation series, which was like a 3 or 4 part introduction series on raising sheep with lots of high quality information. I profiled several different breeds of sheep. We did the antibiotic video. What to look for when you're shopping for sheep as far as qualities in a breeder, and then what to look for when you're actually looking at the sheep. A couple other topics like that. And if I start digging in here to look for it to give you guys a link, I'm probably, I don't know, I'm going to screw something up here. If you're interested in getting those videos, though, if you go to my YouTube channel and just type in Homestead Sheep Foundation. Try that. The video should pop up. Click on the video, and in it will have a link to where you go to sign up to get it. It's a free course. And then the idea was Tess and we were going to launch at the end of it, late spring of 2018, we were going to launch an actual video course tailored specifically to all the information you would want as a buyer getting into sheep, raising sheep and everything. And then my life blew up. Tess also, she had some personal issues happen as well, medical and otherwise, to where we just couldn't do it. We have talked a little bit over the winter about possibly trying to relaunch it this spring. We haven't committed to that yet. I'd really love to do it because we have a lot of the content already done. It's just a matter of a lot of back-end technical work. I say all that to say, I don't know. I can't really talk about antibiotics. I have never had to use one. I've never had a sick sheep or an injured sheep like that to where I needed to. I believe in preventative maintenance, and at the homestead scale, you know, almost all the time you can do that preventatively. Every once in a while, you know, crap happens. Like Annabelle cut her eye last summer on a chicken tractor. So the sheep were coming up the pasture one way, my chicken tractors were coming down the other way, and eventually they met. And I didn't see any problem with it. I didn't notice any sharp edges. And I didn't see this happen, but it's the only thing I can think of. It was the day Annabelle was in, she's one of my sheep ewes, she was in the same paddock as where the chicken tractor was. That day, I went out and she had this huge gash on her eye. And so it had to have been like she rubbed up against the tractor somehow and cut her eye. And I was able to treat it topically with providone iodine, and then I was packing it. The name of the stuff escapes me now, but it's designed to keep. It's like this white goopy stuff that goes in there to seal a wound, to keep flies from landing on it and put maggots in there, which is obviously not good. So I did that, and after just treating it daily like that, I don't know, for like a week, it was like all like dried, scabbed, healed up, and good to go. So that was really the only like, oh, and the year before I had a lamb who like, it was really awful. Like she ripped a lot of her ear hide off, and I was treating that topically, same way, packing it with that goop, iodine, rinsing it out, that kind of stuff. And I just kept on top of it, and there's never an infection, never an issue like that. So I just don't have that experience. I think when you're at Tess's scale, which she's downsized a lot, but she was running, I think, 50 or 60 ewes, and I don't know how many rams, but like, you know, she at lambing time, she, you know, was 150, you know, plus sheep on her property, definitely beyond the homestead scale. I think when you're at that scale, you're gonna have, you generally have, you know, animals by that proportionally will have more issues, and you're more likely to have to use it. So she's had to use them before. I just haven't had an experience with it, and I'm glad I haven't, because it's kind of like a measure of last resort. But again, I focus on the preventative stuff, rotational grazing, cleanest feed I can get, and deworming regularly, or using natural dewormers, and you know, mineral supplementation, all that kind of stuff just keeps them healthy and happy, and so far it's worked. So George from England, it's saying it's 12:10 p.m. AM maybe. I'm guessing you meant AM, because you guys are ahead. Dolly is here. Hello, Dolly, from the greater Spokane area. Maria wants to know if there's a storm still going on in the Midwest. That Arctic thing, I guess. I don't know. Dolly, you're offering to moderate. Yeah, that's totally cool. How do I? Oh, Rose from Wholesome Roots is here. She's already on my moderator list. So, Rose, if you're still watching, you can moderate. If not, I'll see if I can set Dolly up real quick. I don't know if I'm going to crash the system, I think, if I try, but Brian is here. Brian Philbrook. How's it going, Brian? Randy Kleiman's here too. Randy was featured on the Great American Farm Tour. Randy is a sheep guy as well. Let me catch up here. I gotta scroll down here. While I'm sorting through these comments, if you've just joined us, I was giving updates on Willow's progress. She's doing really well. She was on video just a little bit ago, but she bailed out. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about was actually Farmstead MeatSmith. If you guys have been watching for a while, then you know like what a dramatic impact Brandon and Lauren from Farmstead MeatSmith has had on my journey through homesteading. In fact, in my first year of doing the harvest with the lambs, fall of 2016, things just didn't go as I had planned, and it kind of, I don't know, left a bad taste in my mouth about the whole experience. And then that's when I decided to really, really go after the information that Farmstead MeatSmith was putting out, which is really high quality information on traditional butchery methods and harvesting methods, respectful harvest. And so I sought them out and I became a student. And wow, what a difference it made on my journey. And it was just such a dramatic impact. But over the last few years, as I've continued to learn from them, work with them, associate with them, I've been helping Brandon and Lauren develop their YouTube channel. They launched it just a few months ago, and there wasn't much stuff on it, so it wasn't, you know, it was just kind of puttering there. But now I'm helping them break down a lot of their podcasts. They do like these really, really long podcasts, like an hour and a half, 2 hour long podcasts, and about, you know, they could be talking about, for example, the latest one is, it's on, not the latest one, but the latest one that's being published out right now is on roasting, whole animal roasting. And they talk for an hour and a half on all the different aspects of this. Well, not a lot of people like to sit down and watch a YouTube video for an hour and a half. So what I'm going through is I'm breaking them down in small pieces for them and putting them out by subtopic. And there's a lot of other content that's going to be coming out on their channel. It's not my place to talk about that, but anyway, if you're really interested in learning more about respectful harvesting and then butchery, curing your own food, in some cases even just cooking and preparing your own food, as far as like, again, the roasting a whole pig on a spit and that kind of stuff. Again, a whole podcast on that. You can go to Farmstead MeatSmith, their YouTube channel. Just, you know, search them in the bar up above there, and subscribe to their channel. And there's going to be a lot more cool stuff coming out. A lot of non-podcast stuff. So more entertaining stuff coming out soon on that. So I just want to let you guys know about that. If you haven't already checked them out, going over there, and please subscribe and let them know that I sent you. Okay, let me scroll down here a little bit. 80 degrees in Newton, yep. Gary Mercer was saying it was 80 in Alabama. Ugh. I'm so glad not to be in Georgia anymore. I mean, 80 degrees in February. I was there. I went to Atlanta at the beginning of October. I talked about it in one of my videos. I went to a funeral, and it was 92 degrees in October. No thanks. I'm glad to be out of there. I like the cold weather here better. I guess to each their own, all right. Okay, Joyce J, longtime viewer. She wants to know how Blue is doing with no job and no girlfriend. Well, I've been bringing Willow out to see Blue, not every day, but just about every other day. This week there had actually been a couple days where it was back-to-back 2 days, but I'm trying to get her out there enough. I don't want to overdo it because she has to go up and down stairs to get out there. But I am taking her out there, letting her spend time supervised, of course, because I'm not leaving her unattended. So because she gets to running around with Blue, and can't have that. So, but Blue, like, obviously Willow being injured was not part of the plan. Like they were supposed to be together all winter and they were going to be happy. It's not worked out that way. Blue, I can tell, is not as happy. He's not like, so he's regressed a little bit. Blue's had a tough time altogether. But he's made a lot of progress and he's like a new dog with Willow around. But I can tell like he's kind of pulled back a little bit. He's still happy to see me. I go out there. He does seek my attention. So I give him as much as he allows me to, but he's tolerating less of it now is what I've noticed. So I'll be petting him and then he's like, okay, that's good. And he'll walk away. And it used to be like, I just pet him and pet him and pet him and he didn't want me to stop. So, other than that, I mean, he's in good health and, I'm giving him attention, as far as that goes. So, how's my hand? George wants to know how. I'm guessing you're asking from, wow, last winter. I did a whole video. I thought I had like this. I did. I had this horrible rash on this hand, and then it was on this hand, and it was terrible. And I thought it was poison ivy because I had just picked this cat up. Our barn, well, not our barn cat, but she hangs out here sometimes in our barn, Priscilla. And I picked her up, she got in the house, and I thought maybe she had got poison ivy on her chest, and I grabbed her like that, and I got on like 2 days later, like rash everywhere. And as it turns out, it was actually like, I was diagnosed with dyshydrotic eczema, which I've never, ever had any kind of skin issues in my life. And what it was from, presumably, is just doing lots of outdoor farm work, especially in the snow, getting my hands wet. I wasn't drying my hands properly. And then just having moisture, standing moisture on your hands, especially in the dry weather, it apparently wicks more moisture out of your skin when you have standing moisture on your hands like that. So when you have standing water on your hands versus moisture more like in your skin, just to differentiate. So all that was being drawn out of my skin, and I wasn't taking care of my hands right. So I got these horrible rashes from that. And I had to eventually get some like topical medicine for it, which took it down, and it's been fine since. I just have to be careful when I wash my hands to properly dry them all the way, and if they get wet, or try to avoid getting them wet if I'm working outside, wear gloves, that kind of stuff. And that really helps. Jerry Hoops wants to know, are you doing any contract web type work or video contracting? Yeah, kind of. So I would mention earlier about Farmstead MeatSmith. I am doing work for them. I had the big project with Paul Wheaton I did last year, the DVD project, and actually I just started finishing up. There were a bunch of videos, like if you backed that Kickstarter at various levels, there were all these other videos that you would get with the when the Kickstarter got funded. And I think there were like 13 videos in all, and I made 10 of them. I had all the content to make 10 of them, and then I hit a wall over the fall and most of the winter where I just didn't have the content. So now a lot of that content has come in, and I'm finishing those up. So I'm still got some stuff going on with Paul Wheaton as far as that goes. Every once in a while, I do some editing for Justin Rhodes still. Not nearly as much as I used to, but every once in a while still. So I did some stuff for him last month. Oh, so this is also a really good time to segue, because this is one of the things I wanted to talk about on my little list right here before I have to wrap it up soon. And that's I know like a lot of other YouTubers sort of already put this out, but Justin is doing like his beginning of the year kind of push for his membership program, and has asked other content creators, other channels, to let their viewers know about his membership program, which is, that's where I do my editing for him. He sends me his membership video stuff to edit. I don't do his YouTube channel stuff anymore. In fact, I only very rarely did that right at the beginning of his channel. But anyway, so the membership videos, that's what, when I do edit for him, that's the stuff I do. So I've seen a lot of them from the back end. There's a ton of them. lots and lots of various topics, you know, from cooking in the kitchen to growing crops to cold weather, climate, season extenders, and you name it, it's in there. So just a big plug for that. And in the link, hopefully it worked out this way. In the description below this video, I have a link. It's an affiliate link. So if you guys click on my link and decide that you want to join this membership, I get like a kickback on it. So it would help me out if you want to do that. Yeah, so I think the deadline on that, I think he closes registration on the 9th. So 2 more days on that. And I'm sorry, I got a bunch of comments in here, and I hope I can just get to a couple more real quick. Randy wants to know, do you have any videos on preventative worming sheep? I do. I actually have 2 different videos where I've done worming. The first one I did, I mean, it was like not long, it was like right after we got our first sheep, and it was the first time I had done the worming on my own. I'd done it previously in workshop settings with an instructor. It was my first time, and it was kind of a mess. And then I actually have 2 other videos after that I've done it on. And if you just like go to my channel and click on the search button and just type in like deworming, those videos will pop up and you can check them out. And it has the ingredients, the ratios, and all that stuff in it on how to make your own at home with the garlic and molasses. Zach wants to know, can you explain how livestock get sick from alfalfa dust? No, I can't. I have no idea. I haven't experienced that. I just imagine, like, just with any dust, perhaps it's just like just inhaling the particles maybe causes lung problems. But I haven't really heard of that, so I don't know. Marie says, yeah, the Basque region is in France and Spain. It used to be a country of its own. We still have a language and a culture very specific, though. Little known fact, the largest Basque population outside of the Basque region of Spain/France is Boise, Idaho. And I've been to Boise before, and there are a lot of Basque restaurants. There's a whole Basque section of town with their flags everywhere and all that. Boise, Idaho, biggest Basque population in the world outside of Basque region. Pretty cool. I'm just gonna actually, okay, so I have there were a couple more things I'm going to talk about. I only have time for one more thing, and maybe we'll do this again soon because I got a bunch of stuff on here that I'm not going to be able to get to. Chile expat family is saying hello from Chile, South America. Yeah, I remember like watching what you guys were doing. It had to been like 2 years ago, and I guess you guys are still down there. That's awesome. Anyway, yeah, so the last big thing I wanted to talk about real quick was that a few weeks back I did a video kind of throwing it out there if you guys had any suggestions for video content you wanted to see over the winter. And I had some ideas of stuff I wanted to do, but just throwing it out there if you guys anything specific you want to do. Well, the #1 consistent thing I got back from the most amount of people was you guys wanted to see basically farm tour videos, like me featuring other homesteads and farms in the area. And sorry, I keep bumping my screen here. And I went to the Jersey farm in Willow, Washington a few weeks ago, and then last week I had the Dutch Belted dairy farm as well, Beth from Cable Creek Farm. But the problem I run into is most farmers this time of year, they say, yes, I'd love to be in one of your videos. I'd love for you to come out and film in the summer. No one wants to do it this time of year because it doesn't look at its best during the winter. Things are sloppy or mucky or mushy or whatever, and the animals are, not on pasture and everything. But I really think there is a big place for showing that part of the husbandry cycle. If you're in a northern climate, unless you're in Georgia where it's 80 degrees right now, or Alabama, right? Then you're dealing with a cold climate winter, and those are the realities of it. So let's take what we have from that and learn from it. So anyway, what I'm saying is, if you guys are anywhere in the not anywhere in the inland Northwest, but if you are relatively close to the Panhandle in North Idaho and have any interest in me coming out to your homestead or farm, let me know. Get in touch with me, because I need some more volunteers to make some more videos about it. My other series I was planning on running hasn't really quite worked out, which was I was going to do this whole series on winter projects, homesteading winter projects that don't have anything to do with the animal side of things, all the stuff that you would be doing over the winter. Like just other projects going on, making tinctures or wood carving, making tools and all kinds of stuff like that. And the people I was trying to get lined up for that, hasn't quite worked out. So yeah, if you guys are anywhere near and want to be featured, or if you know anyone that's near that might be interested in being featured, please shoot me an email, dan@grassfedhomestead.com, and let me know, because I do have a couple lined up, but they're a couple more weeks out. Actually, 3. I'm going to a creamery where they're like shipping, like they're a good size operation. They just started as a little mom and pop milking a cow, and now they're selling cheese all over the country, I think, right here in Idaho. I got that lined up. I'm going down to the traditional Catholic homestead, which they have some really interesting livestock there. One of them, their main cow breed is the American Milking Devon, but they just got like this white, I don't know, it's like this really crazy hybrid, and really cool cows and everything. So we're gonna visit with them, and then another similar farm like that. But yeah, I just need some more locations, so let me know. Quiet Stream Traveler, I want to tell you how much you have inspired my family and many others. Yeah, thanks for that feedback. I appreciate it. Sometimes it can be discouraging, getting a lot of negative feedback and getting called all kinds of names. But for every one of those, there's like 100 people that tell me they've benefited somehow from the videos. So I'm grateful for that feedback. But I do have to wrap it up, because I got to go get little buddy from his little play group he's with right now. So I have to go, but thank you all for joining me. And yeah, so maybe we can do it again sooner than it's been months. So sorry about that. But again, thanks for joining, and I hope to see you guys again soon.